Good morning, and once again, welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. And my name is Rotimi Eitayo, and it's a great privilege to be here this morning. And I believe that it's going to be a great time together. Let me use this opportunity to welcome our guests. If you're connecting with us for the first time, please do not hesitate to let us know so we could recognize you and appreciate you. And along the conversation, you could ask your questions and we'll be happy to treat your question. And of course, please feel free to contribute as well. Without wasting much time, let me welcome one of our analysts in the house. Let's welcome Eben. Good morning, Eben.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. Good morning, education. Good morning, education. Good morning, everybody.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so like we normally do on the show, we'll start the show with some measure of headlines, and then from headlines, we would take up conversations on the topic or the subject matter of the day. I'm sure there are some headlines you probably have heard about, but I'm going to read out some of these headlines and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Um, so I have one of the headlines I have here is Lagos confirms COVID-19 positive cases in boarding schools or in boarding school. That's a, a major conversation in the headline in the news. We also have ASU reveals why strike may continue for years, makes fresh demands from Buhari. And then we have Governor Ipia's and then we have 48-year-old mom begins secondary school leaving exam, goes after a dream. So these are the major headlines that we have. And I would like to find out if you have any thoughts or comments on the headlines. Eben, over to you.
Starting from the boarding school students with COVID-19, it was a serious issue on Friday when I saw that news. But I just wish that those schools can try their best as much as possible to make sure that they isolate those children and make sure that each guideline by government is being followed. And it is also a call for action for a lot of school owners out there that we should not just be thinking that COVID-19 has gone. We should try as much as possible. Face masks should be on. All our students should make sure that there's face masks on. And I'm hearing a lot of schools that they're actually doing assembly for now. So assembly should not be done because of social distancing. And coming into the school, visitors should not be allowed so that as much as possible, we can resume school and then be in school for some time and make sure that we live with it and making sure that everything COVID is being cropped by those guidelines. I think that is one of the major things I saw on that news. And the second one, which actually sound somehow to me, is the one of ASU. When I saw the news on Twitter that ASU said that they may stay for 5 years if with their fresh demand from government. The next thing I told one of my boys that happy holiday. I think ASU need to just think about it that this student life is in danger. We have a lot of students like the journalist which was actually detained by police, and at the end of the day, the boy is now dead. That is a student of his school, I think Ladoke Akintola. So it is the cause of that is also part of ASU's one of the things that ASU actually caused, because if that boy is in school, that boy won't have been doing such activity. It is a good activity, serving as a journalist for a small organization. But a lot of things ASU is doing right now that is going to endanger our students at the end of the day. There are just so many of them. And then the news also that I found very interesting is the 40, I think 48. You said the 48 year old woman who actually started just started her school start or writing exam. That's great, and it actually shows to all of us out there that we should continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn, and we can never. Learning is a continuous process, and we should try as much as possible to make sure that we learn to unlock all the possibilities out there. Good morning, Naija kids. Good morning.
Good morning, Eben. We are honored to have you with us, Busy Bee of the creative world. Good morning, Rotimi. Hello. How are
Good
you?
morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Rotimi, you can talk better now, Abi.
Well, it is well. Welcome to the show, Titi.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
there was one more conversation that I was listening to this morning just before we started the show, and it's that the fact that the NSAS protests, there's been an, how do I put it now? There's been a reference that the NSAS protest has increased the COVID infection or the rate of COVID in people, due to the fact that some people are coming in with COVID-19, and it's likely that the state government is saying that if things are not controlled, they are considering also another lockdown. I don't know if you heard about that.
You know, the funny thing is that now government is going to use NSAS to blame every, it's like how you go and hit a man, and then the man decides to use you to tell you how he's having liver problems, how he's having all sorts of problems. So you know what, the truth is, people have weeks ahead, since they are thrown caution to the wind. People were not wearing their masks, and it had nothing to do with NSAS. I mean, I went to my supermarket, not this weekend, the upper weekend. I was like the only two of us that were wearing masks inside that place. Everybody else had thrown caution to the wind. Everywhere I've gone, even when my staff are coming to work, and I'm like, "Where's your mask? Did you enter bus without a hey? Don't come and give me I have small children." So the point I'm making is it was bound to happen because a lot of people have thrown caution to the wind. We were not as cautious as we first started. Ever since they had lifted even way before NSAS, people had stopped being cautious. Look at all the parties, look at all the pictures you have seen of events that had happened. There was no social distancing, there was no people taking pictures, we're all together, and you don't see any sign of mass. People look, just think about in the past 2 weeks, all the pictures, all the things that you've seen people talk about, people that have done little birthday parties. Even I still was looking at wedding pictures of someone's wedding yesterday. I said, there's no social distancing in this place. So it just means that there was a highly likelihood. So look at the UK. The UK, did they do any NSAS? No. But they're doing another shutdown because they had ridiculous spikes. I know 2 people very close to me in the UK that are down with COVID. And it's not that they were even going out plenty, but the one time that they went and let their guard down, that's how they caught it. So and this is just to show that after a while, we were already tired. After we had stayed home for a while, people were already tired. So by the time they went out 1 or 2 times and did not feel anybody was falling sick near them, people just took caution to the wind. So that's really the reality of why we are experiencing a second wave. It's not because of NSAS. NSAS might have a little bit, but before then, I can tell you, people are thrown. I look inside bus that is passing me. I don't see nobody wearing mask. Do you understand? The buses that you know how it is. Yeah. Everywhere
I
that I
just
went.
I just like your comments.
Mm,
You have actually nailed it, because that was what I was actually expecting from you, and I just like this, because they are this is the politics. This is now politics that is actually glaring now to the society. They want to make sure that those guys don't protest anymore, and they want to also make sure that there's a fear in them about not coming back to protest, instead of them to solve the rest of the ASU strike and any other thing around them. But I know, by God grace, everything will be fine. And checking our neighboring country, the lives of Ghana and more, I don't think the cases over there are coming up, like even in some part of Africa, that is taking the lives of Egypt and South Africa out of it. The rate at which people are actually contacting COVID is not as much as before, but all is well.
Okay, so I have a personal experience from personal feedback. So Titi, you recognize that the past week has really been a bit of a demand on me. So I actually was under the weather in between my trip, and then it became very bad on Friday. So I had to get to the hospital on Friday. And so the doctor, on seeing the doctor, and he was asking for all the symptom and the likes. So he was asking me if I could smell and all those things. I said yes, I could smell, but he was just saying that I might need to go for a COVID test because that the spread is increasing and all that. And I told him, I said I wasn't afraid to go for a COVID test, but I heard that um, some people got injured. I remember there was a case of a lady that I think the swab or something like that. They actually went too far in getting to test the lady, and then I think it affected her brain or something like that. You know,
ah,
so
and those are people that are scaring other people
Jesus.
now.
yeah. I know someone who is meant to go to the US who is not planning to because there has to be a test of that regard. You know, so but luckily enough, I'm fine, I'm clean, I'm good. Still getting better
Gee.
over the weekend. And
Yes, sir.
just to tell you that it's still out there. We can't throw cautions to the wind. But we have to do what we have to do. We have to show up. We have to deliver as we have to. Um, and that's what it is. But everyone needs to understand that there is need for us to stay safe. You know, and I remember doing my training in the course of the week. I while I was training, I had the privilege to train close to 990 heads of schools slash principals in that period this last week. And I remember that song that Eben had in his class. I don't know if you remember the song he sang on the show, Titi.
I know this. I can remember, but I can't remember the words.
Yeah, so I was almost tempted to teach them that song in those for those duration of the training because when I stepped into to the the training venue with all the nose mask and everything, every one of them were saying that Lagos people, you will know them. And it was not about a Lagos thing. It wasn't paparazzi to use nose mask. You know, some people just felt that look, it's too much of a thing. You know, and I think maybe this is the best time to ask Eben to sing that song again, just to serve as a reminder for those who are listening, who are watching, or who watch the replay, to prevent coronavirus. So, Eben, over to you. Can you sing for us this morning?
Yes, thank you very much for the privilege again to educate everybody out there on the prevention of COVID-19 through the use of this song composed. It's actually, sorry.
Okay, I think I'm on now. To prevent coronavirus. To prevent coronavirus. Social distancing is compulsory to stay alive, to live longer. Don't forget your nose mask. Don't think to prevent coronavirus. To prevent coronavirus. Social distancing is compulsory to stay alive, to live longer. Don't forget your nose marks. So that's
Fantastic.
the song.
So
Thank
I,
you.
I think I promised to pay for your studio session if you want to release an album
Yeah.
ahead of 2021. So once you decide to go into music, which is part of the creative art,
Yes,
um,
sir.
be sure that I'll be your number one promoter. All right, so thank you so much for that. This is a new week, and due to my health, I wasn't able to get your cakes across to you, Titi. You made a demand that you needed your cake to show your face. So I have a legitimate reason why you didn't get that cake, okay? And I hope I'm permitted.
Yeah, permitted. It's better late than never. That's what they say. So
No, no
it's
I,
problem.
better
You
I
late
want
than
cake?
was
never.
I was actually that day when you requested for the cake. So I'm asking my own too for now. I think it's not late for me to ask for the cake. I think so.
It is well. No problem.
It is
We
well.
have cake for everybody. So
Yes,
we're
sir.
talking today about celebrating wins, and if you're connecting with us, please do let us know where you're connecting from. Tell us where you're connecting from. Tell us your name, your location. We are streaming from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, to Africa, and the entire world. Good morning, everyone, and this is the Good Morning Education Show. And we have Titi Adeosi of Niger Kids. We have Ebenezer Odetola Israel, who is also known as Eben of CME, Free University, also coming from Las Vegas, Nevada. All right. So we're talking about celebrating wins, and of course, we're getting towards the end of the year. And if you notice, we've been having
Yeah.
several conversations telling us about what to do, telling us how to prepare, telling us how to be deliberate, showing us how to focus. And then in some cases, it sounds like it's a call to seriousness, it's a call to professionalism, it's a call to no playing around. But sometimes the pressure of doing things, the pressure of pursuit, the pressure of performance makes people to feel incompetent, especially when they measure the things they've not been able to do as opposed to the things that they've been able to get done. So today we're going to take a little bit of, I won't call it a break, but we're going to take a little bit of a U-turn and say, guys, there is something if you spend time enough to look, there's something to be grateful for. And there's certain things you've probably done and you probably have belittled them. And it's time for you to celebrate those little things. We call them wins. And it's time for us to celebrate the wins, the little wins, the gains, the wins in our careers. And the wins can come in several approach and several aspects. And so today I'm going to start with Titi, and she's going to tell us, okay, when we talk about wins or celebrating wins, what does it all mean? So Titi, over to you as we start that. Titi.
Honestly, wins are just things that you've achieved, no matter how big or how small they are, and it allows you to you know how you can look back and think that you haven't moved, but when you look down, you then see that, okay, you know what, I've moved like 3 foot, 3 steps forward. It's not I've not reached my destination. So my destination was to be maybe 20 steps forward, but I've moved three. So it's a win because I've moved, no matter how small. So when we look at this year, people can look at it and just be crying, I've not reached my destination, I've not reached my destination. But forgetting that, you know what, you've made a win. And it's always important for us to look at the wins that we've made. and not be how will I say it? Let the depression come away from what we did not achieve. So I've done a lot of reviewing my wins this year, and I looked at something as simple as being able to pay staff salary as a win this year. I'm telling you, from January till date, just saying, God, thank you. It's in this 2022, it's a major win. You know, every single month, knowing all that's happened for me, it's a win. That's what it is. For me, it's a win that one still has an organization, because a lot of people have packed up, closed shop, and called it quits. So if you still have a school, if you still have a job, it's a win, because I know so many people that have lost their job, so many people that were forlorn, so many people that they just couldn't cope. So for me, it's a win. So you still have a job out there. This is November. That is a win. Your office is paying you, even if they're paying you 50%, it's a bit of a win. You had to drown in learning technology, and you survived. It is a win. You attended a number of webinars. Those are little wins. So everything that you look back that you accomplished, that you're better than when you started the year with. And when I mean better doesn't always have to do in terms of money. So you're better in the terms that you've had new relationships, new networks. You found new ways of doing things. You found new resources. All those are little wins when you look at it in your career. So don't look at not achieving, but look at the wins. Look at what you've been able to do. So that's my take.
Thank you so much. And that's a very good way to introduce the kind of topic that we have today, because sometimes it's very easy for people to say, well, when you say wins, people tend to peg their definition to something big, something mighty, and so they look at it. If they've not done something out of this world, you can't call that a win. But Titi, you rightfully said that there are little wins, there are big wins. The fact is that they are all wins, and that's one critical element. And I'd like to quickly ask Ibe. Now that Titi has said that we need to recognize that, even in the year 2020, right, all the things we've achieved, no matter the size, they are wins. All right. So how do we now take it a step further? She's identified the wins, but how do we celebrate these wins? Not just, okay, identifying that there have been wins, but is there a way to celebrate this little achievement? How do you celebrate the achievement? Over to you, Ibe.
Yeah, celebrating the achievements. Number one thing I need to first talk about is that sometimes celebrating the wins is for you to even achieve a lot of wins. It actually takes a lot of dedication. It actually takes a lot of commitment and more. So to celebrate it, maybe because of my own personality, I keep a lot of things to myself, and to also celebrate it, it actually requires a lot of self-control. I don't know how to just put that word. I self-control. Maybe sometime, okay, like now, I achieved a lot during the pandemic, which I actually count as a plus, which is also a win to me. I will not take it for granted at all. To achieve a lot of digital skills during the COVID was a big time plus. So to celebrate such, maybe number one thing I would do is to make sure that the society around me, the people around me, my community actually leverage on it by me teaching them at least the way I can actually disseminate some of those things. I'm actually doing some of them for now, but at least I'm on a 70 video tutorial on how to use Canva, and which is part of celebration to me. I'm celebrating what I've learned, and I'm celebrating what I'm still learning. So that is also part of what I can see as celebrating the wins.
All right. So Titi, still the same question back to you. You've heard Iben has said one of the ways to celebrate the wins is to showcase it. to other people or to empower other people. So can you also tell us how can we celebrate these wins? How, and I'm sure you were already even trying to start that when you were trying to explain that
Mm.
you know there are different things you've seen in this year. You were able to just be grateful enough that you were able to pay salaries. You were able to get into some level of platforms and all that. But can you help people out there who are probably interested in the conversation of the day? How can they celebrate this little or this big win?
I think one of the first thing is I think Ibn has rightly said it is sharing it with people. So during our monthly team meetings, I mean, I sat down with the team and went through our wins, and they were amazed. Because sometimes you can just be going in there. If you don't look back, that's the way I can just say it. If you don't look back, you will see how come. So you know what? So one day I just went and listed all the wins that we had achieved in the year, and they were amazed. They were amazed. you know, they were amazed as in wow, we've done that. Because sometimes you can just be walking, your head is down. You can't just look up and see that you've actually, gone far with the building. And all you are seeing is all the fact that you are behind, you've not met the target, and all those things, because that's what we are talking about. So I think that's the first thing, to sit your team down and then share some of the wins so that they also can see how it is. I think it's also important to honestly celebrate. So I remember that during the COVID time, as I just took stock of where we were as a company, I was very happy. And I realized that all these wins that one sees, it's never the win of one person. It's really the win of a team behind you. And so we got, me and the management, we just agreed and got little boxes, filled it with little things, and sent to each and every one of our team members to say, you know what, we celebrate you, we thank you, because none of this could have been done without you. And so that was it, celebrating them with little things. Sometimes it's not big thing. I remember I was listening to a school owner, and she said, you know what, she just got Ankara and gave to all her, get to just to celebrate, just to thank them, to say thank you. Especially during this period, and after the online, the first week of online was very hectic and very stressful. The schools that did third term, and just send them something to say, oh boy, thank you. And the people that really, really did well, then give them a little something extra. Yes, we did not achieve revenue target. Yes, we didn't have as many children in the school as we normally would. But you know what? We still made some wins. So those are the two things that I can see. Write it down, share it with both your members and leave it with other people. Because I found that your little wins encourage other people. Uh, just keep at it rather than give up.
Fantastic. Because there's something I've come to realize, and it happens to both great and small. It happens to the highest and the least. You will realize that we sometimes forget the things we should remember, and we remember the things we should forget. So in the course of the year, a lot of people forget the relationships they've been able to champion or create or make. They forget the little resources they were able to achieve or to garner. They forget, so many fantastic things. But you know what they keep remembering? They remember that they were not able to go to work. They remember they were not able to do this. They were not able to do their usual conference. They were not able to gather in the usual place. And the fact that you remember the things you should forget and forget the things you should remember, most of the time your wins will get missing or lost in transit. And it's very important for people to understand that it is necessary, because I feel celebrating your wins also takes away that effect of worry and anxiety. Sometimes a lot of people have this anxiety, they have this anxiousness. Uh, they just feel anxious about everything, skeptical about everything. Sometimes it robs them of courage. But when you are able to make reference to what has happened before now, you are able to make reference to what has happened, and you are thinking about those things, they spur you on to future and further progress. And that's very important for us to celebrate wins. Now, there's one particular thing I would like us to talk about. And in most cases, I'll come back to Titi and then go straight to email. When you say celebrating wins, um, I'm sure that, of course, this is what we've said many times, directly and indirectly. But can we also celebrate the wins of others? Because, of course, when you say celebrating wins, doesn't necessarily mean that it's only wrapped around us. So, Titi, could you put up some conversation around this, shed light on this as well, celebrating the wins of others?
Honestly, that is fantastic. It's really good to celebrate other people's wins. It's it's so easy to get how will I say it, for the thing the bad thing of comparison to steal your joy. You, and
Mm,
when you celebrate others who are succeeding, you kind of break one hold that, should I say, goes over your heart when other people are doing great. So it's important that you celebrate others. You try to break that thing that wants to hold, pull you down. That's the only way I can describe it. That feeling of jealousy, that feeling of envy, that feeling of depression. Everybody's making progress. I'm not making progress. Everything is good for others. Everything is bad for me. You need to start that. To break the initial hold, to say, why is it only me? Some people just have it easy. It's that God is only blessing one
yeah.
side. And that thing starts from just, first of all, going to celebrate. It takes a lot, really, to celebrate. It takes a lot to have that, what I call being a good loser. I was using the elections to tell my son. He said, "But mommy, I'm a good loser." I said, "Yeah, you." That thing of quickly going to celebrate someone and say, "You guys, it was your turn today, but watch out. Next time, I'm not going to give it to you this easy." That thing breaks it. The moment you can do that, it's as if something is broken. That hold over you. And it's important that we see people that are doing well, that see people that are doing great things, and quickly go and celebrate them and say, "Well done. This is fantastic." And if you're close enough to them to tell me, can you share a bit of some of this? It just is important. I can't say it more than enough. So beyond celebrating your wins, if you've not had any real wins this year, or you look at it and you feel, do I feel being alive and in good health is a major win this 2020? Still having a roof over your head and food in your on your table and your stomach is a major win this 2020. But if you look at other areas in your life and you feel that you've not had wins, go and look for other people that have had wins and kind of celebrate them. So anybody here listening, I'll say, go out of your way to celebrate others that have made achievements this year. Especially in areas, just break that hold of envy, and you see the freedom that it gives you, and say, how can I learn from them? What do I need to do? And let me give an example using a lot that's been happening in the U.S. election. So everybody has been talking about this lady Stacey Adams that helped flip the state from red. What did she do? She lost her own election 4 years back, but after that, she made up her mind to make a difference. And that's how she then got over 800,000 people to register. And those 800 people, I'm sure, beyond registering, maybe she then talked to them about the importance of voting, maybe talk to them about the two parties to see and that was it. So there's something you can learn from defeat. That's my own take. There's nobody that won't fail, and you need to say, what does it teach me? Let me go. This person that succeeded, let me even go and peep at it and say, what did they do right that I didn't do, that I can learn from? So that's what I would say in terms of celebrating other people's wins.
Fantastic. I know that we've heard this comment before, that a candle loses nothing by lighting others. And that's what I want to ask Eben. Now, when we see that a lot of times people have their reasons, sometimes spoken reasons, sometimes unspoken reasons why they choose not to celebrate others. Some people say that when they celebrate people, there's a tendency that it shows that they probably feel lesser to those people. because they feel the one you celebrate gets elevated above you. Now, is that the right kind of thinking? What's your counsel on this kind of reality, Iben?
Afri- African thinking. I was actually laughing when you talked about it. I think that is African thinking, where people think that if I celebrate somebody that is younger to me in terms of wealth, in terms of age, in terms of this, it simply means that I am trying to make the person go higher than me. It is an African thinking, and it is a myopic thinking, and it is also, I think, is that person should be a witch or wizard to do that, because you don't actually want others to actually rise above you. And as we all know in this life, that we rise by lifting others. You can never rise if you don't lift others. No matter where you are, you must lift others. Lifting others does not even mean by appointing them in a position. You can give money sometime to lift others. See, when you give, it will also, as we all know, the law, it's a law of attraction. You give, it will definitely, you will also get more. When you celebrate someone by telling, I have never seen, and I don't know why it's actually like that in the kind of environment that I actually live, that a speaker will be talking, and then the speaker will just stand up, and I want to introduce this person to you. This person has done this person has done this, embrace this person. There's somebody that actually surprised me by doing that in the education sector. I could not actually believe that. I think it was around 2014, the late Mr. Joseph Aishida. I could not believe that day. I just saw all my decoration on about 7 platforms, and he said, I recommend this person. I recommend this person. I want to be like, we've not actually met before online, face to face. We only see each other just we only see each other just online. And he said this person go for this person go for this person. And it's dawned on me that as you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands. As you grow older in success, you have two hands. The first hand is for you to actually raise yourself. The second hand is for you to raise others. And by the time you do that, definitely sure, there is no man, no human, no anything on this planet of Earth that try to raise others that will not go twice, even 100 times better than that person. So we can actually embrace it. Let's leave our local mentality that no, by doing I call it politics sometimes, that no, that person, I'm scared of that person. Who I know it is an inborn trait to so many of us. I will not lie to you. It is an inborn trait that that person, don't let the person come around me. No, I don't want to talk to the person. No, this and that. So I think we can go over it. We don't. It's just a matter of time. But I would like us not to forget that statement, that we rise by actually lifting others. We surely rise by actually lifting others, and we have two hands. The first one is to raise others, and the first one is to raise ourselves. Thank you.
Very much, quite profound. Eben is spitting fire today. We rise by lifting others. We have two hands, one to lift others, one to lift ourselves. And which is where I would like to take the conversation further. Celebrating the wins of others, very important. And then to make it quite specific, using your illustration of one of the things you encountered by the late Joseph Aishida, can we take it a step further to help people understand? Some people have the desire and the motive, but they don't just seem to get a bit of having their hands around it. What are the ways, specific ways, that I or you or we can actually celebrate the wins of others, right? And I'm going to hand that to Titi. I'm still coming back to you, Ibe.
Okay.
Specific ways. Titi?
How can we
She
celebrate?
online.
Yes, I like one of the things that Eben said, which is recognizing what people have done. And the second thing is referring. So I think that's important. So it's like if someone, if I follow someone and the person has done a major achievement, written a book or something like that, and I repost it. I think, Rotimi, you actually do a lot of that. Honestly, I have to commend you for that in terms of celebrating people,
Thank you.
acknowledging them on your page. So that, I think that's really fantastic. And then just also recommending recommending and referring. So if I know someone that like Iben said, if anybody wants to learn something, I always just go and check out Iben. I'm sure somewhere along the line Iben has put out one video or on it or the other, or the same thing that when I see his decorations and then people say they want to do, I'm like, why do you want to do it? There's one guy called Iben, he has already done the pre-cuts. Why not just go and do that, as against so I think it's important that those are the two ways you can celebrate people when you see people have made achievements. So actually, three ways I can think of. One is to recognize them, and not just recognize them secretly. You can also recognize them in the open, either or on your page or your status, or when you even comment on their own page. You also kind of recognize them. The second thing is that you can refer. I strongly believe in that. So if someone has something, you can refer. And I think the third thing is being open enough to go and learn from that person. To say, oh, you know what, I think this thing it's fantastic. I think what you've done is really great. Can I come and just learn from you? When you learn from somebody that is younger than you, doesn't necessarily bring you down. It just means that's you're willing to learn. And I think those are the three things in which you can use to celebrate other people's wins. So you might not be strong in an area, someone else has gone and done it. So go and learn from people. And I do that a lot. If I feel that someone has done an achievement, I feel that achievement is commendable. It doesn't matter that the person, I might be ahead of the person in life in whatever way I consider being ahead. I would want to go listen to the person. Is the person doing a webinar or something about, go and listen and try to understand, to say, oh, what can I learn from this person? What can I learn from his experience? So those are the three things I feel that you can do to celebrate other people's wins.
Fantastic. Iben, do you want to add to the list? Iben, are you there?
Yeah, I want the question again. There's a particular statement you use.
I'm asking that what are the specifics? So I want to celebrate the wins of other people, just like you recommended.
Now
What are the
understand what you say now.
specific ways that we can celebrate people's wins? Looking at the education space, looking at the education sector, how can someone wants to celebrate Iben's win, not his own win, right?
Yes. Yeah, so specific ways. The first thing before I talk about the specific ways is that the person must display expertise as much as possible. Let's try, before others can celebrate us, we should try as much as possible. Let's display expertise. Let's display passion. Let us display that we are capable. Let's try as much as possible, as professional as we can. Let's try our best as much as possible. And for us to be celebrated, or for ways that we can celebrate others, like I do advise, you can celebrate others on even on your status. I just observed that I have a lot of people that actually view my status for some time now. So I decided to just be sending some stuff there. There was a day I just observed about 1,000. I was like surprised that, oh, so my status can also be used to actually celebrate a lot of things around me. And social media is also there. Recommendation is also part of it. We can recommend people. If you observe that you need someone for a particular post, please write it online. And I'm using this opportunity. If you are actually good in terms of coding, I need just one person. I need to recommend that person for a particular job outside of Nigeria. So very sure celebrating someone is It's not online also. We can do it physical, we can do it in different way. But please, before you can be celebrated, try as much as possible display expertise. Make sure that you have passion for that work, because sometimes people are find themselves in trouble just by celebrating some group of people, and at the end of the day, after celebrating them, they could not be able to actually deliver the deliver what is expected of them. So as much as possible, let us try to display expertise, and then by God's grace, we will surely be celebrated beyond just human, but God will also celebrate us.
Thank you very much. It's very important for us to note this at this point in time, just like what he said. Although it doesn't change it, but the point is this: celebration of people's wins does not totally mean endorsement. And we need to be careful about that. It can actually act as an endorsement, but it's not total endorsement, because sometimes people tend to mix it up, an equivocal endorsement as opposed to celebrating. You're able to achieve something great. I celebrate you. I'm celebrating your proof and not your potential. I'm not celebrating what you have the capacity to do. I'm celebrating what you've showcased that you've done, right? However, the question I'm about to ask, very important question it is how can we rise above when you feel a bit victimized, how can you rise above vindication, or how do you put it now? Victimization and vindicating yourself when it comes to your wins, right? Sometimes it gets to that point where a lot of people don't feel vindicated of certain misconceptions around the things they're doing or the things that they've done, or better still, at the point of ratification or benchmarking, they feel victimized under the power of a system. How can you celebrate your wins beyond victimization? How can you vindicate yourself using your wins? Titi, can you help us with that?
Rotimi, let me just understand the said and unsaid thing that you're saying. So you're saying that some people have wins, but because they are not members of a caucus, or they are not members of a cabal, their wins ability to. Is that's the first thing, right? There's also a second part of your because the victimization.
Titi,
I'm
Titi,
trying to read that you're not. um
Titi just answered the question. You have the answer to the question. Just answer the question.
so what I think is that you have to decide who your wins are for. And I'm going to use a very popular example, and that's Tyler Perry. You see, Tyler Perry realized that there weren't being movies that were made for black people. He tried to uh, you know try to penetrate the initial environment, but they were not conducive for him. So what did he do? He created his own. And when he created his own, he so succeeded that they had no choice. When you play with their own system, then it's under their rule. But he then created what I would call a parallel system, where in the end, the success that he achieved was such that nobody could deny. So the victimization disappeared, and he had to be celebrated. The second person I'll use, people don't like me using this example because of what happened in his later life, but I still feel that he had some wins that I will talk about, and that's Bill Cosby. You see, Bill Cosby created his own show. Bill Cosby created his own new reality. People said he wasn't going to succeed, where he was showing black up and coming middle class people. People are used to black people at the in what I'll call lower lower roles, not being successful. But he created the Bill Cosby show that showed a successful doctor married to another successful woman, and they were not lower class. He created a new reality. And then that show became a hit. So the people that did not recognize him under their own system, he became so successful under his own system that they had no choice but to recognize him. So I know a lot of people that are very good musicians, but they never won a Grammy, for a long time. The system refused to recognize them for one reason or the other. You know, Look at some other fantastic movies that never gotten an Oscar. So even though they were not recognized under those what is the normal system, other people recognize them under a completely new and different system. Some people have made hits. They've not come out to be in the movie, but they become celebrities from the internet. They've become YouTube celebrities on a different system. That old system can't but recognize them. They might not recognize them under their new system, but they are now recognized. So that's what I would say to anybody: go and win and keep winning. Eventually, all would recognize and celebrate you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very, very good way to dissect that question. Um, well done, Titi. I ring a bell of blessing for that. Um, so for those who are just joining us and for those who watch the replay, there you have it. We're talking about celebrating wins, and it's very important. For someone like Titi, she said she's actually spent time to identify or reflect on the wins of the year. And like the popular song or the lyrics of the popular hymn, it says, count those blessings and then name them one by one, and you likely get surprised. By the time you look at it, a lot of times, there are things that just keep our sight because we've forgotten or probably we took them for granted. But the fact that we are at the 11th month of this year, it's been a really defining year for a lot of people. And you've been able to do one or two things. It's worth celebrating. And it also puts a flavor into the entire year so that it doesn't look like the year has always been totally, totally, totally bad. But then when you celebrate the wins, it still stabilizes your emotions, gives you some level of confidence to look forward to better and brighter days ahead. And I believe that's what's going to happen for you and I. That's what's going to happen for everyone, not just within the education space, but beyond the education space. I believe that will definitely work out for us. Um, Without wasting much time, we'll be bringing the show to a close. So I'd like Titi to give maybe a final word of counsel to everyone out there. What are your thoughts? What are your shorts as we close the show, celebrating wins?
So my advice to everyone that is listening, I will use the opportunity to thank you Favor for listening in. Everyone that's listening in, especially today live, thank you very much. We celebrate you honestly because it's a win. So I want to even talk about the Good Morning Show. Wrote me on Friday. We're talking about a win. We're celebrating 5 months. It's like, when a woman has a child, she said, oh, the baby's 1 week old. In the beginning, and other people that have children, like, only 1 week, only 1 month, only 5 months. But that's a way of, we celebrated the fact that we've made, 5 months of consistently, even I didn't believe we would get here. Of consistently. I know how I told Rotimi when schools had resumed to say, "Oh boy, are you sure you still want to do this thing every day?" So it's a celebration. We've made it. 5 months in this time of upsy dovey, topsy dovey, or whatever it is. So it's a celebration. So my advice to every single person listening: go and search, look for something to celebrate in your life. honestly, go and look for something to celebrate. Don't think that this year has been all bad news. I'm telling you, there's something to celebrate. So for some people, it's celebrating how closer to their husbands and their children that this has brought them. Some people is celebrating the fact that they acquired new skills during this period. Other technology they were afraid of, they were able to embrace it. For some people, it's that they found out they were able to cut off some of the excesses. It's a celebration. You thought you couldn't live without. Some people, when you think of how much you've saved in terms of Asoebi this year, it's a win. No, you save money for all the Asoebi that normally you'd have spent money on. You didn't do it this year. It's a win. When you look at the various things, I just recommend that you look at your life and try and come up with your wins. Don't look at what you haven't achieved, but look at your wins and you'll be amazed. You'll be so amazed how far you've gone. And then once you've looked at your wins, please give yourself a treat. I do that a lot all the time. I just, all that money I'm saving. I just gotta celebrate, man. All that dieting I'm dieting, I just throw it to the wind. I just gotta celebrate with Cold Stone ice cream, and a nice chunk of cake. So those are my two advice to everyone that's listening. Look for your wins and just celebrate in whatever way you can. Cook that bottle of wine that you've been reserving for a special period. Just open it and pop champagne and just celebrate your wins. And I wish everyone the best. And to all the other people listening that have made wins, we celebrate you. Whatever wins you've made this year, we celebrate you and we say well done. I mean, 2020 was a fantastic year that you had those wins. That's just something awesome. And I pray that as we enter 2021, you will double whatever wins it is that you made this year.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. That's a very powerful way to end the show with inspiring words and also words of prayer. And I believe that that would definitely happen as Titi has mentioned and as she has declared. We will celebrate much more as we head into the new year. And this is just to encourage you and to always ensure that it's not just a great morning today, but we believe and we pray to always be a great morning every day for you. And that's how we'll end the show today, telling you that it's always a good morning on the Good Morning Education Show. Thank you and bye.
Bye, everyone.